These are the steps that will be helping you when you have the rich vocabulary of the synonyms. But what if you don't have the synonyms vocabulary? Systematically, I did not get any highly repeated keyword here. I hope your information matching sort of questions are now clear to you. You can easily find out your answer, and trust me, after watching this video, you will be comfortable with list of headings as well, and you're gonna thank me later. Hi there, welcome and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video, we will be talking about list of headings. Why people get stuck at 5.5 in reading? Because they don't know what to read. Ielts reading doesn't demand you to read the whole passage. You don't have to read every word that is given in the passage, right? Rather, you must know what to read in what sort of questions. For example, yesterday in information matching sort of questions, I told you what to read. What was that? When and where you get your 3 major keywords, you have to read the next 2 to 3 sentences, right? In information matching sort of questions. So the same is applied in list of headings. While doing Ielts reading, always remember this suggestion. Never read to understand the passage. Only read to find the answer. And when you read to find the answer, you don't need much vocabulary. You don't need many synonyms. Okay, so now let's learn what to read in list of headings. There is a typical method, right? So many tutors online and offline have told this method, and that's what I'm going to tell you. But there are 3 steps you have to follow. So let's start the first step. Read first 2 lines and last 2 lines. You know that, right? I am not telling any new thing. But what is new? The second step. Mark the highly repeated keywords. Okay, and here you should consider the synonyms as well. If you have rich vocabulary, that is actually going to save you a lot of time. Okay, because one word will be emphasized there. They will be focusing upon one word. They will paraphrase that or they will repeat that word. And that will be repeated in first 2 lines and last 2 lines in majority of the cases. But what happens when I myself find the answer of list of headings? Although I read the first 2 lines and last 2 lines, and I get to know because I have the synonyms information. So I easily find it. But in case there are some tricky questions, so I have to read the mid part as well. But the mid part also I don't read to understand. I read to find the highly repeated keywords. I hope you understood, right? So we are going to mark the highly repeated keywords and then we should match with the options. These are the steps that will be helping you when you have the rich vocabulary of the synonyms. But what if you don't have the synonyms vocabulary? In that case, elimination method is going to save your life. Because you should know how to use the elimination method, right? There are techniques actually for the elimination method. And that is very simple. When I will be practically solving right now the questions, you will get to know that how do I use the elimination method in case I don't know the meaning of any specific word. So again, for solving list of heading sort of questions, I am taking Cambridge 13 and this is the passage which I selected for list of headings. Why being bored is stimulating and useful too. This most common of emotions is turning out to be most interesting than we thought. So this is kind of a study or research based topic, and trust me guys, I myself find it tough to find the answer from these sort of passages. So I will be solving the passage like a layman. That must give you an idea that how do I do it? How do I tackle the situation when I am not having the enough information about the synonyms and the vocabulary? Now, do you remember the first rule? First step, read the first 2 lines and last 2 lines. Okay, and look for the highly repeated keyword. Okay, so let's do it. We all feel how it feels. It is impossible to keep your mind on anything. Time stretches out, and all the things you could do seem equally unlikely to make you feel better. But defining boredom so that it can be studied in the lab has proved difficult. So didn't feel any word which is highly repeated. Right? Now let's come to the last two lines. It is saying that in his book Boredom, A Lively History, Peter Dohe at the University of Calgary, Canada, compares it to disgust, an emotion that motivates us to stay away from certain situations. If disgust protects humans from infection, boredom may protect them from infectious social situations, he suggests. So, systematically, I did not get any highly repeated keyword here. There they were telling what is boredom and all that stuff, defining his stuff. And here he's telling some sort of suggestion he's giving, right? Suggestions is giving. Fine. So now in that situation, when I don't have much information about the synonyms and the vocabulary, I will be relying upon elimination method. Okay. So the first is productive outcomes that may result from the boredom. Now you should learn how to use the elimination method. For elimination method, again, you don't need any specific knowledge of English, right? Although knowledge of English is required for Ielts. Okay. So productive outcomes. The major keyword I will search teachers. Then here I will take the major keyword new cure. Here I will take problems with scientific approach. Problems. Potential danger. Then classification is my major keyword. Remember, all these keywords which I am marking here will be helping me to use the elimination method because I have no sufficient information about the synonyms and the vocabulary as a student today. Are they talking about age groups? We will see there. Identifying the most affected by affects. So let's start with the first one, productive outcomes. Just productive outcomes. Are they giving us that what are the benefits? Here he was saying that defining it can be tough in the lab. After that, he was talking about frustration, depression, indifference and all. Here he was comparing it. So no productive outcomes are given, right? So first is eliminated. Fine. Okay. Next, are they talking about teachers? I'll not be wasting my time. Teachers. I don't feel that teacher word is given there. That's it. Second is also eliminated. Are they talking about cure? Cure. I should find out the cure or treatment, right? So, cure. Okay, so there is no word cure given, right? After that, problems with a scientific approach to boredom. Problem, scientific approach. Here when I was reading it now, I got it. But defining boredom so that it can be studied in the lab has proved it difficult. Lab means scientific study, right? Difficult means problem, difficulty. So I hope you got your answer कि मेरा आंसर वैसे तो फोर्थ है, right? But in case कि I didn't know the synonym कि tough जो होता है difficult is the synonym of the problem. Now I will take the another keyword of the option fifth. Are they talking about the potential danger there? Danger. Any danger, right? Any threat. I don't feel any threat is given there. Any negative outcome. Okay. Then the next, classification of the feelings of boredom. Classifications means like division, right? Types, kinds. So there they were telling that it is difficult to study. There they were telling that it is difficult to study boredom in lab. Then he was like comparing it with different mental states, and after that he was comparing it with disgust. That's it. So I don't feel that there is any classification has been done. There was no age group talked about, and there was no one who was affected by boredom, at least in the first passage. So, on the behalf of elimination method, I hope you understood how did I find my answer. Okay, so my answer is problem with scientific approach to boredom. Okay, so I hope you get it. Now the last one we will do it. Now comes the passage number 2. What was the first rule? Read first 2 lines and last 2 lines. Okay. So by asking people about the experiences of boredom, Thomas Goethals and his team at the University of Dash has recently identified 5 types of indifferent calibrating, searching and all. First 2 lines I have read right. Last 2 lines of the 5 types, the most damaging is reactant. When you react, you can be explosive and all. This is indifferent boredom and all, right? So they are talking about. Did you get what they are talking about? Here, in first passage, the first 3 rules were not being applied because there was no keyword time and again repeated. But so for tackling that situation, we relied upon the elimination method. And in second passage, did you notice anything? He has given 5 types, right? After that, in last 5 types, and again he's explaining indifferent boredom, right? Negative emotion and all that stuff. So although I don't have to waste my time, because there are times when I know that these type of words are time and again repeated, so my answer will be like this one only. So 5 types of any word that can give you 5 types. Productive outcomes, no. Teachers, no. New cure, no. Here it is given. See, creating the system of the classification of the feelings of boredom. Classification, what do you mean by classification? Classification means the types. So our second passage answer is 6th and first answer was this one, 4th. So this is how you tackle the situation. Okay, while doing a list of heading sort of questions, we come across 2 sort of different situation. In the very first situation, when you read the first 2 lines and last 2 lines, you easily can mark the highly repeated keywords. Alright, and you easily get your answer. But the second situation arises when there is no word being repeated there, and even irony is that you do not have the sufficient information about the vocabulary and synonyms. Still, you will have to find out the answer. And in today's video, we are going to see how these 2 situations are tackled while finding the answers of list of headings.